So this is Home Buying 101, and we're going to talk about occupancy. Occupancy is one of the most misunderstood portions of the mortgage, and it's something that I educate on a lot. So I was like, I totally need to do a video on this in the hopes that everyone understands that I'm not trying to torture them, because I do get into a lot of things with clients where they're like, but, and I'm like, no, I swear, like these are the guidelines. So here's how it works. Owner occupied. Okay, now an example of an owner-occupied home would be a VA mortgage. Like if you're going to be purchasing a home using VA, it needs to be owner-occupied. FHA, it needs to be owner-occupied. Any of the first-time home buying programs, including USDA, it needs to be owner-occupied. Okay, now a lot of people assume that just because they don't currently own a home or they have never owned a home before, that they qualify for first-time home buyer owner-occupied programs. You don't. The only time you qualify for an owner-occupied mortgage is if you plan to move into the house within 60 days. That is the rule. You plan to move into the house within 60 days. If you want an owner-occupied mortgage and you want that owner-occupied rate, those are the rules, with the intent to live there for at least a year, okay? That is literally verbatim how the guideline is written up. So a lot of times what people do is like, especially California, our prices are so high right now that people are like, well, I can't buy my first house here because it's $1 billion. And I get that. So they're like, well, I'd love to buy in Arizona or Texas or some of these amazing states with great opportunities right now. And I'd love to use FHA, or I would love to use my VA loan. It doesn't work. And the reason is, once again, owner occupied, you've got to live there. And so then they go, well, what if I say I live there? Okay, well, first of all, obviously you'd be lying. But beyond that, we're going to find out. And underwriters, when they're looking at your file, they're always looking for things to be accurate, okay? So if you say, I'm gonna live in Arizona, but your job is in San Francisco, how's that gonna work? Okay, so for an owner-occupied house, you have to live there like more than 6 months a year. Like it needs to be your primary home, okay? So how are you gonna be able to show that you're commuting from Arizona to San Francisco? It's not sustainable. And sometimes people will talk to a lender, like maybe an online lender, they'll be like, well, I filled out a loan application with XYZ and I got approved. That's great. But they're also not sitting on the phone with you like an underwriter would. They're not going to where the file's ultimately ending. You could say, oh, well, they'll do it. Will they? I bet you. I know they can't, they won't. It's just they haven't caught it yet. So if a lender's telling you, hey, look, that's not the occupancy you can do, I would definitely listen to why. So owner occupied, you gotta live in that house, okay? The next one is second home. Now with second home, I hear a lot of, well, I don't know if I'm gonna rent it or if I'm gonna live in it part-time. That's important, because if you're gonna rent it, if you collect a nickel on that property, it is now an investment property, which is another type of occupancy, okay? So there's 3 types of occupancy: owner-occupied, second home, and investment. And owner-occupied and second home, the rates are generally about the same, but you can't do FHA, VA, USDA on a second home. Investment property, the rates aren't the same. The rates are higher. And the reason why the rates are higher on an investment property is because, let's say you have 2 houses, right? And you lose your job, you have no money. Which one are you going to let go first? Owner occupied or investment property? You're gonna let the investment go first, because as a human, you're gonna be trying to survive, so you're gonna be keeping your place as long as you can. So that's why investment properties have higher interest rates, okay? And we see a lot of people going, well, I'm gonna rent it, but just do it as owner occupied. No, I can't do that. I could lose my license and you could get in trouble for mortgage fraud. It is not worth the 0.25% or whatever it is on that given day to commit fraud. And that is 100% what it is. You need to be honest about what you're doing with the house. If you're getting a ski house and you're going to rent it out, It's an investment property. It's not a second home. It's cool if you go there a couple weekends, but the minute that you start collecting money, it's an investment property, okay? So it's really important that you're honest with your lender about this and also that you're realistic. So 5% down investment property, no, not going to happen. There's going to be a larger down payment requirement on an investment property for the reason I mentioned before. Second home, they require more down than owner occupied as well, because it's the same theory. Which house in dire times, which one would you let go of first? Okay. And then owner occupied is where you see those great programs like, you know, all the government, but in the conventional space, you've got 3% down. You've got home ready, home possible, all these fantastic opportunities. Now, jumbo is a little bit different. Okay, jumbo, you still need to be honest about your occupancy. It's just with the second home, you are going to definitely need to put a decent amount more down. So first home, you know, you might get away with 10, 20%. Second home, it's going to be 20% plus for sure with the jumbo loan. So this video is really more for conventional loans, which is why, you know, we talked about government. But the key thing is just because you haven't owned a house before does not mean the house that you buy, you get the first time home buyer programs on. In order to qualify for those, you have to live in the house. So I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you're in any of the states that I'm licensed in and they're all listed at the bottom of this and you need a loan, please call me, apply online, email me, send me a smoke signal. I'm always happy to help. Thanks for watching.